Baby's gonna change everything.
I'll teach the baby art and Chris will change the diapers. Poo? You're giving me poo?
I love directing other people's writing. I think it really helps you as a director, and I think it helps you as a writer. You know, I think about how in Driveways, I never would have written that final monologue from Brian Dennehy's character because I probably would have been too scared to write it. But because Hannah Boss and Paul Thureen did that, I feel like if I ever had to write something like that in the future, I would, you know, have more confidence or inspiration. And so it really shows you kind of what you can do as a writer. And I was really excited to apply the lessons that I learned from Driveways and from Fire Island to the writing, you know, of The Wedding Banquet alongside James Schamus. I love the original film. The Wedding Banquet was the first gay film that I'd ever seen. And so it holds a very special place in my heart. And I think like any great piece of art, it inspired me so much, you know, especially now as an adult. You know, I rewatched the film before having a conversation with the producers, and it brought up all these feelings and emotions and, you know, memories of conversations with my boyfriend about marriage and about children. And, you know, I was so inspired that I wanted to reimagine it, you know, and kind of tell this story for the modern day, you know, for a modern queer audience, but still adopt, you know, the filmmaking philosophy and the humanity of the original film. You know, so much has changed for the queer community, and I wanted to acknowledge that and to explore the new, you know, questions and themes. Yeah, you know, I love The Wedding Banquet and how it how Ang was able to balance, you know, culture and sexuality and family, you know, and one element that I wanted to talk about, you know, especially for a modern queer audience, was, you know, kind of chosen family and how you build queer family, and how maybe that distinction is, you know, between chosen family and fixed family, like kind of permeable, right? Especially when you have questions about kind of marriage and kids. And so I, you know, I wanted to kind of shift the focus towards this like next generation. You know, I think for me it was just about, you know, showing a future that I, you know, am living right now as a queer man. And so in many ways, the film is kind of wish fulfillment, you know? It's showing a possibility of queer family that I hope is really inspiring for people. Yeah, we worked with our casting director, Jenny Ju, who was the casting director on Bong Joon-ho's Okja. You know, she's incredible and just such an artist. And we wanted to create a family on screen. And that sort of intimacy, it requires, you know, so much vulnerability. And so that's what we were looking for in our actors, a generosity. And we built this cast one by one. And, you know, it's such a, you know, all-stars Avengers cast, you know, Bowen Yang, Lily Gladstone, Kelly Marie Tran, Han Gi-chan, and then of course you've got a legend of Chinese cinema, Joan Chen, and a legend of Korean cinema in Yoon Ye-jung. You know, I could not have asked for a better ensemble, and the fact that they gelled both on and off set, you know, is such a gift to me as a director.